What's up, guys? Welcome to the cutting room. This channel is all about independent horror movies, the good ones, the bad ones, the ones that deserve more attention than they get. I'm Nick. I have been making indie films for over a decade now, and I'm here to talk about horror honestly and respectfully, with a focus on discovering underrated movies and real hidden gems. Some of these films are rough, some are incredible, and a lot of them are worth your time. If you're into indie horror and finding new movies you might miss, you're in the right place. Now, this one, let's see, this one I got from a convention I went to recently. Let's see this. Big Bad Betty. Written and directed by Justin Sulham. Oh, I'm sure I'm butchering that last name. But let's get some details. Let's see here. I have everything written down usually. Usually I'm so prepared. Yeah, there we go. All right, Big Bad Betty. Big Bad Betty starts with a dopey looking dude with a camo geared out. That's not exactly what I was looking for. Let's see. Uh, let's actually get an IMDb thing. Story centers around Sarah, a young woman restoring her late grandfather's horse ranch. Who alongside her friends encounter a predatory entity tied to the land's dark legacy. Now, um, yeah, the movie the movie starts out with this couple hunting something, and the husband like is, I don't know, in camo, and he's like got the face paint on. It looks like he's in blackface, but he's not. It's really funny. The wife has like the littlest amount in her face, and he's encouraging her to shoot. She shoots something. She gets the hit. They go over and check it out, and it's gone. And then they get killed. And then we start with the movie. We meet Sarah and Brooke in a very small apartment. Sarah is trying to figure out what's going on with her uncle because she and her whole friend group have to go to this ranch to get it ready to be sold. Something has happened to him. Maybe he died. We don't know. Her friend Brooke is promiscuous and mentions she's an ex-porn star who's now a real estate agent. We've heard that before. They proceed to drink and go to a party where there are two luchador wrestlers messing around and hitting each other while having fun. We're introduced to Henry, a tall, skinny guy who's got all his crap together. Nice dude. The level-headed man of the group. We also meet Marco. Marco is my favorite character. I got to meet him at the convention. I got to meet the actor at Days of the Dead, Atlanta. When I got this movie, really nice guy, funny dude. Really good in the movie. Hilarious guy. Big lumbering farm guy, wrestler-looking dude with blue with with a handlebar mustache. Drinks a lot, doesn't care about anything, but he's not an asshole at all, which is great. We see Marco wrestling some nondescript guy in the ring, putting moves on him, bouncing around, having a good time. We're also introduced to little Rasta, who looks to be a female manager of Marco as well. So we meet everybody at this party that happens, like I said, with the two luchadors, the whole thing. Um, and then we after I guess after the party they go wrestle that morning or something. So we see Henry, Lil Rasta, and Marco just in this gym area where they're wrestling, and we get a lot of musical montages, which I'm not mad at. There is a very 70s and 80s kind of film look and vibe to this whole thing, which I personally really like. It makes it I don't know, it makes I don't know, I really like that style. I really like what they did with that. Even if it's a layer they just slapped on with After Effects, I still enjoy it. There's no need to like film on film for things like that. It's okay. I'm not gonna dock points for that. There's no points I'm docking anyways. Um, it was actually really good. I really like that effect. There is something really funny about Marco. Marco keeps wearing these wraparound like Oakleys the whole time, which is makes him look like a douchebag, but he's not. Which I think is really funny. Um, and the characters are really great. There's no inherent like they're not being dicks to each other. They're not being mean to each other. There's like friendly poking back and forth. nothing too crazy. Um, they're actually like a legitimate group of people. So at some point we have Sarah who's convincing these people like, I need to go to this ranch and help out, and they all like get in a car and go on this journey. And they end up at this gas station in the middle of nowhere, and they have to pee and get gas and things like that. So they're at this gas station in the middle of nowhere. This one dude's just sitting there, high out of his mind, um, he's just sitting there having a good old time on God knows what, and he's just doesn't know what's going on. They're asking him about gas, they're asking him prices, about bathrooms and things. At some point, Brooks talks to him, and he has the funniest reaction where he's like, "I know you. You're from that video with all the firemen and the hoses and things." And he makes that gesture, and it's the funniest thing because she gets so offended and just doesn't know what to do. And then Marco comes in and tries to help her, and he's like, "Oh yeah, do you see one of the astronauts and things like that?" Like it's really funny. Um, so they get the gas, they do their thing, they have their stop, and they try to go away, but at some point, um, they have they're running with the harbinger, or the dual citizen, as you will, for these like slasher movies. And it is a mentally ill man in a plush um Bullwinkle hat who's telling all the kids you're gonna die, this and that, don't go there. Um uh all these things. So he keeps saying, oh, she's gonna love the meat on your bone, she's gonna love this, that, and the other. Marco has to come out and intimidate the guy, get him to move out of the way, and they eventually get him to move out of the way, and they go onto the ranch. Um Yeah, we do get a couple, we get them landing there, we get Sarah kind of, like, taking care of the horses and things at the ranch, and crying and stuff about her uncle, and, reading some paperwork and things like that. Once the group gets settled in, they just start partying again, which, I'm fine with. Like, that's kind of like, I think they're playing into that trope of, like, all these slasher kids do is, like, drink and party and, like, mess around, which is funny. I like it, it's good. This is supposed to be a comedic slasher movie, which it came through. I really, once again, I really did like it. It was very well done. Um, we do get, once again, the partying, things like that, and Marco is like the big bodybuilder, wrestler guy, and he makes a comment of like, "Oh, I need to eat." Henry's like, "No, no, no, you can wait." He's like, "No, I got to eat every 2.5 hours. It's a science." So he's gonna find a microwave. The microwave is all the way like in the barn, like outside in the across the ranch or something. Um, and once again, they party, the drink, and we get one really fun sequence. I'm gonna tell you about it. I'm not gonna try to ruin everything. There's one fun sequence where we get everybody's kinda like knocked out and drunk and sleeping on couches and beds and stuff. And we get this kind of like POV shot of somebody sneaking through the house, looking at them and seeing what's going on. And we get some ominous music, and we see somebody raising something up, and it's like a cowbell, and it's Henry just like, playing the cowbell, waking everybody up. He's got like a bucket hat on. He's got the sunscreen on his nose and like arm floaties. And he's telling Sarah and Brooke to get up because Little Ross has made bagels, and it's like, oh, come get bagels, this and that and the other. So um they're real mad at him because they're hungover. So they get their bagels, and they're trying to find Marco. They think Marco's dead. They yell for him. They call him all over the place, and they find him face down in a pile of wood. But he's not dead. He's sucking his thumb and he's sleeping. He fell asleep. So that's all good. So that's fun. And then they get two more friends to come by to help them, clean up more of the barn. And so more partying, more drinking. We get that at dusk into actually no, at this point they're playing sports. They're like doing badminton and other things like that. Um let's see. Sun get down, playing sports and doing various activities. You're getting the fire going. There's and like they're getting around the fire and stuff like that, and um, Brooke talks to Henry and is like, "Hey, come with me over here. Let's, off to the off to the side, off this little private area where we don't have to be, around the group." And he's all excited. And I'll ruin this one part because I think it's hilarious and it was like incredibly funny. Um, what is it? Let me look at my notes. Henry finally finds Brooke, laying on this bed, and he's ready to get it on and stuff. And she like undoes her shirt, and she's on top, but she's wearing the shirt on top. And she undoes his pants, and out pops a cucumber. But it's not any cucumber; it's a cucumber dog toy. And as soon as it hits the ground, it squeaks, and it's the funniest fucking thing. And she like they had this whole altercation about like why'd you do this, that, and the other. He's like, "Oh, I wanted to make it look bigger for you and stuff like that." It's a hilarious conversation. And at some point, Big Bad Betty shows up and like kills them both. And I will say, whenever they do the killing, sometimes they do like this very like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like 70s like grain thing, and it's good. I like it. I'm there for it. We do get the story of Big Bad Betty. See, once upon a time, they lived a family here. These very lands, a family so sick, so twisted, so utterly deranged that the townspeople rejected them, shunned them, and banished them back to where they came. Legend has it, the man of the home experimented on his own livestock, breeding species. He was experimenting with crossbreeding himself with a sheep. They say the sheep had a lamb, whose fleece was white as snow. Haha, funny. But not for long. It grew big and strong and full of rage. Worst of all, no one knows for sure what happened to it because the family vanished, never to be seen again. They experienced pain you could never imagine and even fathom at the hands of the abomination. Some say the creature still roams the woods, but nobody knows for sure. Um, you know. So we get that in like kind of, the story. I'm not gonna ruin what Betty looks like. It is like this is I have to say like this is actually let me go ahead and rank it, and I'll go into like the good and the bad of it. So let me get my ranking systems up. Okay, let's do like this. These are the ways I rank the movies. I go from S to F. Roger Corman at the top because he's the godfather of indie film, launching careers and doing it all the way to the end. John Carpenter's right below him because he started out just as Indian made absolute classics on shoestring budgets. Charles Band comes next because he keeps the indie horror scene alive with the 80s and 90s with a bit more budget and polish. Lloyd Kaufman is the middle because he's pure indie spirit, even if he's more about shock and chaos and quality. Jim Wynorski is below him since he's basically all about the cheap thrills and topless scenes over substance. Rob Zombie's under him because I don't like Rob Zombie. Rob Zombie can suck a big one. I think Rob Zombie sucks. But I did like this one. I did watch it at least 3 times to do this, and I enjoyed watching it actually. So I will give it a Charles Band. This gets a Charles Band award. It did have I mean, it was really well done. It was a lot of fun. Like I said, this is probably one of the first slasher movies I watched in a while where like I didn't want the kids to die. I actually cared about them. They were gener- generally good, generally fun to see. You wanted to see more of what they were doing. You wanted to get more of the backstory. I wanted more of the backstory of like how they became friends and what all happened because they're an interesting group of people. You know, I don't know if Sarah or Brooke or any of these people fit together, but I kind of want like I would like more adventures with them if that was possible. They were like almost like a like if they were like a millennial kind of Scooby Doo gang, if you will, of misfits. I would watch that. I would 100% watch that. But I will say one thing I really did love about this movie. The soundtrack to it was great. Every time they broke out and did a montage, and it was the slow motion thing of them playing around or drinking whatever, there was a kick-ass song that came in, and I want the soundtrack for this. Justin, if you watch this, if you can give it to me on like a fucking cassette tape or a CD or something, I'll pay postage or whatever, I'll pay for it. I want it because I really love the soundtrack. I don't know whose songs they were, I don't know who you got, but they were awesome. Highly recommend this movie. To buy it, to support these guys. I will put the links in the description where you can follow these guys and buy the Blu-ray of this as well. Um, because this was a lot of fun. I definitely want to see more of from what Justin has and what he's doing. This was great. You know, once again, watched this 3 times. Enjoyed it every time I watched it more and more. This doesn't happen very often, so I was really leaning down for it. But yeah, glad I owned the Blu-ray. Do like here, okay. Glad I owned the Blu-ray. Was worth it, worth the buy, worth talking to him for a bit at the convention. Yeah, just an all-around good movie. I hope you guys support it. Hope you guys go and purchase it, or at least find Justin's social media and tag him and, follow him and see what else he's doing. I think I just saw that he's shooting something new at some point. So check that out. But I'll see you next time.